Good morning, everyone. This is Bill, the Fox Body Phantom, and we are over here at the Marshfield Fairgrounds for the annual Spindle show. Man, I am super excited today because we have, again, the best weather of the year on the last weekend, official weekend of summer anyway. Tons of cars. It's going to be an amazing show. I can't wait to go around and share as much as I can with you. If you haven't done it, hit that subscribe button, hang around to the end. You'll see our favorite Fox Body, the Phantom favorite. I can't wait to share everything. We'll talk to you in just a minute. 1958, Chevy switched their body style from the iconic Tri-5s from 55 to 57, and I think they came out with the best looking versions of these cars from 58 to 60. As much as someone loves a 55 to 57, 58 to 60 to me is the pinnacle of the design on these Chevys. Now, this year's you would have three options. We have two of them here today. You would have the entry-level Biscayne, you'd have the next level up Bel Air, and then you'd have the all-new for 58 Impala. Now, the Impala was the more luxurious version of these cars, and they're gorgeous. This is a 58 Bel Air, and we'll walk through and show it to you. This is beautiful in the gold. You can see on the outside, there's a little differences on the trim on the outside. We'll show you when we go to the 58 Impala right next to us. You can see on the interior, this is really nice color matched, gold on gold, even with the gold seats. So this is just a very sharp version of this 58. But what I loved on these cars was the fins in the back. Now, they weren't as pronounced as they were in 57. They kind of folded them over. This is the biggest key indicator. You'll see here, 2 tail lights on the Bel Air, 3 on the Impala. But as you go in and take a look on the outside, you'd see the Impala was a little more ornate. This one has a Continental kit. When they went into, you can also see on the roof on this, they had these vents on the back of the Impala with a little bit of a different style of roof line that you don't have on the Bel Air. And then as you got inside, you would get a little bit more upmarket with the interior, right? So it would be a little nicer trim, seats were a little nicer, and you got that, one of my favorites, that insert between the two rear seats with that Impala logo on it. Love the two-tone paint on this. I love the paint, that salmon color paint. This is just a beautiful version of its car. But again, I think 58 to 60, these cars are just incredibly beautiful, and it's very cool to see these two side by side. They just did an incredible job. And like I said, you had another option in 58, which was the down market Biscayne, which was the entry level. When I talk about ornate, you see the door handles here, you see the fin on the rear quarters here. This was just a little bit more upmarket, a little bit more upscale. It was that next level that Chevy came out with in 58. You got to remember, in 58, America was in their peak, right? We had just come out of World War II. We had gotten through all of the craziness. 58, the baby boomers were booming. Everything was wildly successful. So all of these cars were coming out. And, people wanted something that maybe was a little nicer than the models they had a little earlier, but they didn't want to spend the money for a Cadillac, and that Impala was that option for you. Another car that I really haven't shared very much, this is one of our club members over at the Bay State Antique Auto Club, his 1959 Edsel Ranger. Now, John is an Edsel guy. He loves Edsels. When I think about Edsel, and most of us think about Edsel, we think about the failure of the Edsel brand. And again, it was not wildly popular. They took some chances with the different style grille. It was definitely different than what was going on with most of the other cars of that time. But what I like about this car, and as you take a look at it again, now it really doesn't seem like it's that far of a departure from the other cars of that generation, right? It doesn't look that wildly different, but it was back then. I think this car is a really good looking car. Again, you look at the interior. We looked at that upmarket Impala. Look at the interior on this. Again, we talk a lot about the different versions of the gauges. This has a version of a bar speedometer, but it looks absolutely incredible. The gauges are beautiful in the car. Love the interior. The rear end on this car is so different and unique. It's so cool looking, right? So again, kind of that 3 taillights, kind of mimicking what the Impala has right here to give it that more upmarket feel. So again, you don't see these Edsels all the time. And John, I know I haven't had a chance to shoot your car before, because I think at most of the shows we're kind of doing stuff together, but I did want to share it because it's absolutely beautiful, and I think it's a great looking car. Very cool, Cudas and Challengers up here. I don't know why this one really drew me in today. I think it's maybe the color combination. It is a 340 car, so it's not a big block, but it's a very cool small block with the vinyl roof, just the simple black and white graphics, the steel black wheels with the Plymouth hubcaps. I just really like this car. When I think of what a muscle car was originally, the muscle car was designed to be an affordable, fun car, And this is a great version of it. Again, everything on this just stands out to me as what I would want from a muscle car, right? It is an automatic, so it's going to be a Torque Flight 727, but I love the back end. I love the black and white. Again, as I was walking by, for whatever reason, there's a ton of beautiful cars, and I'm usually drawn to the more high impact colors, but this one just looks great in this color combination. All right, another cool car up here, this 89 Shelby Daytona. So the Daytonas came out in the early 80s, like think about 84, and these cars were really popular right from the get-go. They had a really good body style. They were a turbo 4. Actually, some of them were naturally aspirated 4s. I've talked about it before. When I first saw this car, for me, was when I saw it on Hunter. But Shelby was working with Dodge, and we shot that Dodge Dakota Shelby yesterday at the show. 89, this probably would have been the hottest version of what Shelby had out there. So the Shelby Turbo Daytona was the best looking version, right? You had the Omnis, right? And you had, the GHLs, which were very small compact cars that Shelby kind of worked his magic on. This was more of a sporty car that had a sporty look. Now, these were sold to compete with the Camaros and the Mustangs. Truthfully, in their regular version, they weren't super competitive. They just didn't have enough low-end torque. The high-end horsepower was pretty good, but they weren't competitive in the quarter mile or the 0 to 60 time, so they didn't sell as well. But man, I think over time they've really gotten a cult following, and I like them quite a bit. I think this is a good-looking car. Now, again, you see this as the Shelby tag on the side. Originally, this one's been obviously completely redone. I'm sure this one's much faster than what it was out of the factory with a 5-point harness and the removable Momo steering wheel. It is a manual car. We've got a roll cage in the back of it. So this one clearly has been modified, but it's a super cool version of the car. It's something you don't see all the time. So I kind of dig it. And again, this is awesome to see two unique Shelbys at two different shows back to back. So there are a lot of cool Camaros and Firebirds over here. Unfortunately, they are right near the speakers, and if I go over there, you're not going to be able to hear me, and I'm going to get a copyright strike because of the music. So I can't shoot everything. I will shoot just kind of around as best I can here to share some of the cool stuff here with you. I have been sharing stuff that's been on sale recently, so there's kind of a cool 96. You can see they're asking, they're asking 11.5. The phone number is 781-500-1490. The car has 125,000 miles on it. It looks very clean, like the wheels on it. These wheels look very similar to that RS we saw yesterday at the 90 police package we saw. This was kind of the iconic color for this. It was the LT1 motor, 300 horsepower. This one is a automatic with T-tops. So again, if you're looking for something fun at the end of the season, that's super reliable. These 350s were pretty robust. The transmissions were pretty good on these cars too. So for something for $10,000, $11,000 with a V8 that's kind of cool, definitely a great option for you. There's a beautiful IROC convertible right next to us, along with a nice Trans Am. Like I said, I'm not trying to short shrift these guys. It's just so loud over here that I can't go over there. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to hear the video, and then YouTube will demonetize me. So that's never fun. But a lot of love to the Camaro guys. They've been showing up really well lately. There's a lot of nice first gens again here today. So we'll go back around and try to hit a few more as we go along, but a lot of cool stuff. Check out this super cool El Camino street rod. This thing is awesome. Look at the tailgate. Louvers in the tailgate. You can see the roll bar that goes back into the bed. The giant slicks. This thing is so cool, the way everything's been integrated into the car. And again, what's interesting in this, pretty stock looking interior, right? It is a manual car. Obviously the big motor with the giant blower looks awesome. The wheels look great on the car. Wow, there's some cool stuff still coming in, guys. I can't wait to share all this with you, but yeah, this is awesome. One thing I gotta tell you that Spindles does better than any show I've been to is their street rods are amazing. Like the stuff they get from that street rod, hot rod category, just incredible. This beautiful Nova, this very cool Camaro, this gorgeous 57 Chevy, the wagon we shot exclusively or extensively a couple of years ago. Like, they just get some incredible street rods up here. Wow. I'm gonna walk down the other end too. Now, I am doing the Mustang judging today, and I can already see there's a ton of Foxes today up here. So that's gonna be very cool. Picking my favorite Fox is probably gonna be challenging because there's so many cool ones up here today. But same thing, look at this unbelievable truck right here. That Chevy Gasser we actually shot extensively a couple of years ago. this awesome Nova. This truck took best in show here a couple of years ago. He unfortunately hit a bird coming up to here last year. He's got it fixed. I've had a chance to talk to him, but man, like I said, nobody can touch what these guys do from like a street rod standpoint. Incredible. Around and shoot all of these as a Fox body guy, I'm going to shoot all the Foxes. Now, I did not bring mine up today because I knew I'd be working the show, and I'm glad I didn't because traffic was just crazy getting in here. But man, there's some cool stuff up here. Wow, just beautiful. What's up, brother? How we doing? Good to see you, man. How's it going?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Good, good.
You bring anything today?
No, I'm judging again today, and and I'm shooting the video, so yeah, I'll be back around in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, these Foxes are just what a great selection of Foxes. This one's incredibly, original looking, very similar to mine. It just looks very factory. Wheels look great. This one is a manual, which is nice. But yeah, it's going to be tough. There's a lot of Foxes. I think I also saw another red 93 Cobra coming in as I was walking by. Love the originality on this 4-ride. With the 10-hole wheels, 5-speed again. It's funny, there's a Fox over here that looks exactly like the logo my wife used for our first logo on the channel, which was a coupe with the FR 500 wheels. Like, this 100% looked like the logo we had on our shirts originally. I mean, like, to the T. This is very cool, too. But, man, there's a lot of nice Foxes up here again. It's going to be tough for me to pick my favorite up here today when we get there. There's just some really sharp stuff. Next truck we're going to shoot up here is this awesome 1990 Chevy 454 SS. This truck was so interesting. When it came out in 90, it was only available in one color with these wheels. It was black, had a red interior, 454, about 240 horse, but the party trick on this was it was a super torquey motor, right? So this guy was designed to be a stoplight to stoplight truck. And this was kind of the beginning of the hot truck that, iteration we'd see all through the early 90s. We saw that Shelby yesterday at the show down in Rhode Island, the 89 Shelby. Now, that was a one-off that Dodge did with Carroll. This was a factory effort to bring back the factory hot truck, which we hadn't had really in like 12 years since the Little Red Express went away. You had big motors, but they were designed for towing. This was designed to be a sport truck. And I remember when this came out, Motor Trend tested this out, and they were like, man, this is cool, but again, it's super impractical. These things had a giant motor. They didn't get a ton of gas mileage. It was a regular size bed with a regular cab, but it didn't matter because it looked so cool, right? You had that 454 SS badging that got those guys that love the 60s muscle cars thinking about buying something more modern. And it looked great in black. I mean, it looked so sinister. It was just a great looking truck. So again, big fan of this. I've always liked these trucks. Now, we have another new modern super truck up here, and that's gonna be this Shelby Super Snake Sport over here. Now, I got a chance to find out a little bit about this truck, and this one is actually putting out close to 1,000 horsepower. So when you look at this, what's cool on this truck is it takes that same formula from that 455 SS and it amplifies it, right? It's giving you a regular cab, regular size bed with a giant motor, with a blower, with giant tires. Like, you just think about that really 30 plus years of integration, right? So actually this one's perfect. This is a 2020. So 30-year separation. In that 30 years difference, we went from 240 horse to factory 700 horse with a supercharger, from 15 or 16-inch wheels to 20-inch wheels, but the spirit's the same. We have a really cool hot truck that you can still go and throw stuff in the back if you need to, but man, this thing's super fun from stoplight to stoplight. So I'm happy to share these two very cool versions of a hot pickup truck 30 years apart. Okay guys, so something very cool with the trucks. We have a couple of cool 66 Fords. Now, this is the heavy duty version in that olive green. This is the 250. Remember we talked about that Galaxy we saw yesterday with the 352. This is also a 352 in that olive green with the white accents, with the white top. This one's an 8-foot bed. So this, again, we talk about a truck that was built to be a truck. This is it. This was designed to tow. This was designed to work on a farm. Again, look inside this truck. It about as basic as you get. You've got a fuel gauge, a temperature gauge, and a spot for a very basic radio, nothing else. I love the matching interior to the matching exterior. It looks incredibly cool on this truck. Now, there's another 56 over here in blue, and this 56 is more of a hot rod version. This is the 100 version. So this would be the, you know, you think of your F-150 today versus the F-250. Now this is also a 352 truck. This is in that blue and white. So this would be the smaller version, the light duty version, with the 6-foot bed. So it's kind of cool to see the contrast. You see the interior, again, very comparable. Again, not a whole lot of other, you know, ancillary things in the truck. This, again, a truck that was designed to be used to work. So it's cool to see the light duty versus the heavy duty on the same years. Things up here, there's a lot of really good looking stuff here today. 65 fastback. This is the base model 289 with 200 horse. This is a manual car. This is so pretty in this color combination though. And again, the first gen on the 65s, we're gonna see a 66 in just a second. 65, you had these slats right here. 66, you went into the plexi on that side window, especially in the Shelby style. But this one looks great in this color. Again, you'll love a fastback with a manual, and this is an original motor and transmission car. Now we have another unrestored fastback right here, which is very cool. That iconic pony convertible, right? When you think about this is what you think about from an early 60s Mustang, 65, 66. This is a 66, and I can just tell, I told you guys before, by the grille. When you're trying to figure out 65 or 66, 65 has hexagons in the grille, 66 has rectangles, so if you're looking at one and you're just trying to figure it out, that's the easy way, but that's super cool. And we have this GT350. Now, I'm not sure if this is a clone or not. If it is, a very nice clone, and it's really nice, or tribute. It is a beautiful version of this car. I saw this car when I was coming in and I wanted to take a look at it. What a great color combination. In the blue and white, with the manual transmission, with the Shelby wheels, the Shelby steering wheel. This car is absolutely gorgeous. So we're gonna make our way around the Corvette section here today. We'll try to hit on a couple of them that kind of stand out. They have a nice selection of Corvettes. They always do up here. So we'll go through and we will just share some very cool stuff here. A lot of C5s up here today, which is cool. A lot of C4s as well, which is great. You know, we've talked a lot of C5 is probably the best value in a modern car. If you're looking to buy like a fun car, and it's something that really has great performance, sounds cool, like looks great, definitely the way you want to go. And then you can see these very cool C1 and C2s over here. These guys always get a nice turnout. Man, we knew today was going to be crazy with this weather, and it is. There's so much nice stuff up here today.
And we've got all the greatest hits of all time to go along with it, along with all the announcements and everything that everyone needs to know. Again,
beautiful car up here. I love the steel bumpers, and this one's nice and red. This is 72. So this is the last year of the steel bumpers. Super sharp. Always looks good. Good to see you, man. Always pretty.
She's actually over in my side.
You know, I've been sharing some of the cars that are for sale, so I'm actually going to shoot this C5 Z06. Again, I talked about this being some of the best values out there. So you get this car right here, 400 horsepower, right, 405. This was the first fixed roof Corvette since the C2s. So if you were looking for something like hardcore track oriented, now doesn't have a price on the car, but I will share it. It's the number 617-259-4843. These cars are awesome. Like, these were like the best muscle car value for the longest time. And what's cool on these cars, unique wheels, fixed roof coupe, side exhaust on the car, manual transmission. So if you were looking for something fun and fast at a good value, now these, even to a couple of years ago, these were in the mid 20s. They're now hitting into the 30s and 40s. But again, from a value standpoint, you know, 400 horse, plenty of power. The car looks awesome. The color's great on the car. The wheels look great. And again, fixed roof. This was a more serious car, more serious suspension, designed more for track use. This is just very cool. So again, if you're looking for something cool at the end of the summer and you want to get your next high performance car, this is the way to go. 617-259-4843. Anybody that played Need for Speed or watched a Fast and the Furious movie knows how iconic these Supers are. And the reason I'm shooting this one is it looks very stock. Most of these have been modified like crazy, so to see a stock version of these early, you know, the early 90s Supers is pretty incredible. Everybody bought these and they wanted to, you know, they wanted to change everything, and I get it, man. These cars took to modifications like crazy. This was like the Japanese version of the Fox bodies. Like, you could modify them. There was all the different parts in the world. Everything you could want to do to change or modify this car, you could. But to see one with the original wheels, The original body kit, like no changes, original interior, and a turbo is super cool. So I wanted to share this one with you because, again, you just don't see them all that often, and this is a very cool 94 Super Turbo. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with modified. We have a beautiful modified Super over here where you can see they've got the different wheels. That also looks really good on the car. So, you know, again, this is a very cool hobby. Like, again, like I said, the Supers were like the Japanese version of the Foxes. They're super cool unmodified, they're super cool modified. You can do everything to them. Like, you can modify these, you can do anything you want on these cars. So again, to see a couple of these Supers up here in the similar colors but slightly different is very cool. I'm gonna shoot this is very, very cool 1952 Pontiac. It's got a 455. Love the front end, so obviously it's been smoothed out, right? Got rid of the bumper. The headlights are cool on it, but I really like the old school paint job, the old school pipes on the side, like the moon style wheels. This is a very cool, like, old school vibe hot rod, where they've taken what the hot rods would have been, you know, 20 years ago, actually probably closer to 40 years ago, and stuck to what that would have been. Looks great. The body style is very cool. The paint is awesome on the car. So I like sharing stuff like this that's a kind of a throwback to what the hot rods were when they originally were made, so it's very cool. All right, we'll feature another car for sale up here. If you ever wanted to own a very cool hot rod, this 37 Ford is for sale. It's got a 502 big block. The 502 has actually been incorporated into the paint very subtly in the pinstripe here in purple with the big wheels, the super lowered top, right? So this thing is chopped like crazy on the style. This car you definitely cannot build for this money. I mean, just that 502 motor alone is huge money. Looks super cool. Right here, you can see the phone number, 781-724-1913, but they're asking $40,000. Now, this looks like it was a hot rod that was built a few years ago. It's not 100% perfect, but it is still super nice. You can see on the car right here, there's some information about the motor, about who built the car, but it's a really nice version of a car. If you were looking for like a ready-to-go hot rod to take to a show, to stand out, you know, have a ton of fun at a cruise night, this one is really well done. And again, for the money, I think, again, you couldn't build this car for this money. So it's very cool. This hot rod because it's just so wild. When you look at this from the front, like the front of this car looks absolutely incredible. I love it. I think when you see this, the really tiny wheels, the solid front axle, the big blower sitting on the front of the car with the brass Ford radiator, with the brass lights, you know, the giant fenders and the huge tires in the back. This is such a cool hot rod. Like, this is, again, when I talked about like that 52 Pontiac, when I think of an old school hot rod, this is what I think about. Like, this thing is just wild, super over the top. It looks great. I love it. The wheelie bars, you got the parachute on the back. This thing is just cool as hell. Again, you don't see a ton of them like this anymore. And this is, you know, you think back to like those Rat Fink models back in the day, which had a similar like body style and proportion to this. To see that here is very cool. So again, I love shooting these old luxury cars. 1964 Chrysler Imperial. Look at the front end of this car. Look at under the hood. 413, plenty of power, long as the day can be. This was Chrysler's luxury version that would compete with the Cadillacs and the Lincolns, and man, it's pretty. Love the paint. But you look at the inside of this, I mean, just the style, beautiful interior, incredibly comfortable, plenty of power. Like, this car is also gorgeous, and I love the rear end on these as well. You kind of had that little bit of a Continental kit on the back, so again, trying to share stuff we haven't shared with you guys before. This is a very cool 64 Chrysler Imperial. So a couple of weeks ago in Waltham at that street show, we shot that beautiful 63 Grand Prix. Check out this 64. This one's a 389 4-speed car in the white, 8-lug wheels. Man, this is pretty. Love the top on this. So the blue vinyl top with the white body with the same color interior. Again, a 4-speed car, might be a 3-speed car. 4-speed it looks like, so 4-speed, 389. This car is gorgeous. Love the body lines on it, love the color. There's so many cool big cars up here. We have that Imperial, this Grand Prix, this 65 Lincoln Continental, convertible with the suicide doors in green. Man, what a great selection of beautiful luxury cars up here today. There's just, you know, I just showed a lot of the muscle cars, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's cool seeing these big cars with the big motors that were designed for luxury back in the 60s, and these are beautiful. These are great to see back to back. All right, guys, next car we're going to shoot up here is this very cool 1967 El Camino. You guys know I love El Caminos. My wife's favorite car. She loves an El Camino. I'm a Chevelle guy. Just talking to the owner, he's had her about a year and a half, 327 car, but what's really cool on this, it's a factory 4-speed car. Now, the car is geared in such a way that it is, you know, fun to drive on the highway. A lot of these are so overgeared, so people want to throw 410s in and make them race cars. You don't need to make these a race car. Enjoy it. That 327 is a great motor. It is super reliable. It's more of a high performance motor than the early 350s were too. It was designed to be high performance. These motors came out after you had the 283s. In the early 60s, you got the 327s to give you a bit more performance. Now, these cars could have had an SS with a 396, which is great, but this is putting a lot less weight over the front end, and this doesn't have a lot of weight in the rear end. So the balance on this car is significantly better than what you'd have on a big block car, because then a big block car, you're 58% of the weight over the front wheels. Now this is closer to 50-50, think like 52, 53, 48, 47, so this handles a lot nicer. And again, for what you have on this car, we were just joking a little bit, you know, pieces guys say, hey, take it to the dump, you can use the back bed. Look, in a truck this nice, you're not using that back bed. This car has lived for 50 plus years, you know, close to 60 years now. There's no need now to go use this as a utility vehicle. It's done that part of its life. Let's make it a beautiful show truck. And this one looks great in the blue. Love the factory interior. I love that it's a manual truck. And I love that he uses it and gets to drive it on the highway. It is super cool. All right, the next car we're gonna shoot up here is this very cool 1966 Chevy Caprice. Again, I wanna share some stuff that's for sale for you guys. This is a gorgeous full-size 66 Chevy. You know, when you think about these, it's funny. People have a certain feeling about these cars. They either love them or hate them. I think they look great. I think they've really just taken the mid-size cars from this generation and kind of blown them up by about, you know, a third. And they look great. They're beautiful cars. I love the wheels on them. The interior's nice. Now, this is a modified version. Digital gauges, a very cool shifter inside, beautiful interior. This one has a ZZ4 350. 700R4 transmission. So this car is just beautiful. Like I said, it is for sale if you're looking for a cool big body Chevy 1966 508-364-1132. He's asking $56,000, her best offer. Now, this is about as nice of a version as you're going to find from these big Chevys with the, you know, the black vinyl top, the black paint, great looking wheels, modern motor, so you can enjoy the heck out of it. So very nice version of a full-size Chevy. All right, I am going to give you a big overview of the show because it is huge. You know, I think this is their biggest show ever. These guys absolutely have a ridiculous amount of cars here. It is incredible today. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview as we walk through. There is a General Lee over here. I am going to go shoot that because that's my childhood. We'll come back around, we'll shoot a bunch more for you, and then we'll wrap up in just a bit. Beautiful 1969 General Lee Tribute. What I like about this one, though, and I've seen a lot of them recently, a lot of them like airbrushed, and they've kind of actually tried to make them too nice from what they were. This is like the best version. 69, correct wheels, decals on the car, push bar, tan interior. So like if you're looking to recreate a General Lee, this is like the best version I've seen in a bit, where it's actually very much what the factory car would have been. We do have like an aftermarket steering wheel, but the General Lee in the show wasn't automatic. Again, they would have used the decals. You did have the checkered flags on the back, so the crossed flags. This is just such a great version of this because, again, this is very much what the car would have been in the show without being overdone. And I really like that, right? Because a lot of these you see, again, we've seen airbrush flags on there, airbrush, numbers on the door. Again, the key to this car is really just a few things. I think about the 4 things you have to make a real General Lee tribute. 69 grille, right? So you have the split in the grille. You've got the right wheels, you've got the decals on the car, you've got the tan interior, you got the push bar. If you have all that, that's the right version of this, and this one looks awesome, and I'm a huge fan. Again, I love these cars, grew up with them. My favorite as a kid. Okay, guys, I talked about my love for unique and different. How about a couple of Falcon like gassers, right? This one's more of a drag set. This one's definitely a gasser. I'll show you the front end in a second. Love the wild paint on this car. And again, this was clearly done a long time ago. We've got all the race stickers, all the crazy stuff on the car. We've got the roll cage. This thing is super cool. We've got like the Thunderbolt style hood scoop on it. So that reverse teardrop looks awesome. And then you see this crazy gasser front end on this Falcon right here, which looks awesome. These are both super cool cars. And again, I haven't seen either one, and super different, very unique, like it very, very much. I'm shooting a lot of for sale cars. If you're looking for something fun that you can build on that looks like it's in pretty good shape. This very cool 1970 Skylark. It's got a 350. It's dressed up like a GS, so I like the yellow-orange paint, the black stripes. But this car, they're asking 20 grand. I think this is a steal if you're looking for something to build on from this generation, right? These body styles have gotten prohibitively expensive. Phone number is 508-802-7044. Man, I think, again, not a perfect car, but for $20,000, again, we've got that shopping basket style shifter that the Buicks had, like we showed you on that GS yesterday. This thing's pretty nice. Again, you would need a little work on it, but for the money, this is great. I mean, again, if you're looking for something cool as a value, again, love selling these cars for sale. 70 Buick Skylark, 350, dressed up like a GS for 20 grand. Very cool car. Absolutely beautiful custom car. 72 Buick Riviera, chopped, custom paint, air ride suspension, custom wheels. This thing is stunning from front to back. You've got the factory looking interior. Obviously you have the air ride setup on the console for the suspension, but how far this is lowered is wild to me, or chopped. And what I like is even with the chopped top, they kept that window that went to that boat tail style rear end on the car. Would have been very difficult to do, right? That would have been very easy to change out. They did an incredible job of integrating that into this body. It just looks absolutely amazing. Beautiful car. It's cooler than one 73 Super Duty Pontiac Trans Am. How about three? We've got this 73 in green. We've got two red 73s. Now, out of all of them, I love the green on this one. This is probably my favorite because I love these honeycomb style wheels they did on these. This would have been before the snowflakes. I think these wheels are great looking. These wheels would stay on the Trans Ams through 76. If you go back and watch Smokey and the Bandit and you see some of the scenes, they were actually using 76 Trans Ams with 77 front ends. So you'll actually see a couple of scenes with these gold honeycomb wheels versus the snowflake wheels. But these are all super cool. You don't see these a ton, and to get 3 455 Super Duties all together is awesome. And like I said, I'm not a red car guy, but this red one's probably my favorite out of the three, but they're all really nice cars. There are two very cool versions of like car haulers up here. This first one is this F6 Ford with this Ford pickup behind it in the black and orange. It looks awesome. Both of these are beautiful, and they've both been very well done. You know, you got the cab over style on this one, which looks great on the truck. It's a very good looking version of it. Guys, you might remember we shot this Fox body at Bach Exotic. We got a chance to talk to the father and son. They had this in the Viper. We were just chatting again today. So this is a 43,000 original mile Fox, but he also brought his 15,000 original mile 91 convertible, right? So we have this with the pony wheels, the red with the red interior. So very similar to the coupe. Now we just have the convertible. Now this is a 5-speed, this is an automatic, but I mean, this is as original as it gets, guys. Original style wheels, the trunk rack, everything that would have been original on this car back in 91 is here, and it looks great. And again, to see a 15,000 mile version of this car is super cool. Digging it. I think it's a very cool car. All right, guys, so a couple of cool Foxes up here, and again, this one's got a cool story. The owners had it for over 20 years. Love that with these cars. It is that same deep emerald green that you'd have with the 7-Up cars. He has actually changed over and put like the chrome Cobra wheels, which I think look great on here. You know, again, I really do, like I talked about, I like the LXs. If we look at the 7-Up right behind us, there's not a ton of differences. If you actually look at it from like an exterior standpoint, they're almost identical. The biggest thing you're going to see on here is you don't have the white leather interior, which was on all the 7-Up cars. They all have that white leather interior. I actually prefer the cloth interior because they tend to hold up a little bit better. But this one's been daily driven all summer. It's very cool. Now, the car next to us I wanted to share with this notchback. This thing is incredible. So this notchback has some beautiful wheels, amazing brake setup, but under the hood is a GT500 motor. Someone told me this from 2012. I didn't get to talk to the owner, but that sounds about right. In a notchback with the Shelby motor, with the manual transmission, Recaro seats, this thing is absolutely incredible. Got the battery location box to the back of the car to adjust the weight. The wheels look great. I mean, this is absolutely a phenomenal build on this car. Absolutely looks incredible. And again, to be able to squeeze in a GT500 motor in a notch Fox body is awesome. All right, I'm gonna do another walk through the Mustangs. This one is beautiful. Look at this beautiful 1968 Fastback in red. Wow, I love the paint on the car. Gorgeous. We've got a very cool Bullet right here. So this would have been a 2001 Bullet. which was the only year for the bullets in the SN95s. The bullets were kind of neat. They had a different intake on the cars, different seats, different gauges, right? This was a kind of a precursor to what they would do in the Mach 1s in 03 and 04. So if you take a look around, there's some gorgeous stuff up here today in the Mustang class. A lot of nice SN95s, some really sharp older Mustangs. We had a ton of really nice Foxes today. Just some very cool stuff. This is another beautiful Fox right here in black. Love the Cobra wheels. So this one's a 5-lug conversion with the upgraded brakes. We've got a turbo in here with a filter, so thank you for the filter, right? Keep all that junk out of your motor with a 5-speed. That's really good looking with the Cobra rear spoiler. Super sharp. Now, as we come back, I haven't even gotten back over here yet, guys. I end up halfway through the video, I end up going over and judging the Corvettes today, but there's a lot of nice custom stuff over here again, too. Some of the hot rods back here, absolutely beautiful. Great looking custom Monte Carlo. Really nice Z28. That Bel Air is super sharp. That Monte we shot at Berwick Boys Club like 2 years ago, or maybe even last year. That paint on that Monte is ridiculous. Like, I love this car. The customization, the orange and black, looks absolutely incredible. Good looking 454 SS Monte. Now we go down and we got all the Mopar guys. The Mopar guys always come out in force to these shows. So all the Hellcats, all the Challengers and Chargers. Like I said, I wanted to check out the swap meet section for a second and see if there's anything cool that I can pick up today, but what a great selection of cars up here today. They just had a great turnout, and I'm super happy for them. So there's a pretty good actually turnout from the Jeep section today, but there were two that stuck out to me that I wanted to share. One was this 75 Wrangler, super cool in the green, obviously the big wheels. Love the interior on these. They were so utilitarian. Again, I use that word a lot in my videos, but this one, it is like, again, super bare bones. Speedometer, fuel gauge, temperature, that's about all you have in here, right? You have obviously everything where the manual lockers, you have to go in and obviously shift into the 4-wheel drive. There's no buttons or anything on here. And then you get the Scrambler from 83 right next to it, which I think is so cool. I thought a few times about actually doing this paint scheme on my Gladiator, because I like that they've actually made a kit that mimics this. And mine with the white, I actually thought about going exactly with these colors with the orange and yellow on the white and doing like the white wagon wheel style tires or wheels that could go on here. But these are super cool. And then he has the old school KC daylighters with the bags versus the plastic covers that go on them, which were the original style on these. So you guys have seen the KC daylighters on my truck. This is the original version of that, and I think it's super cool. So neat to see a couple of these, older Jeeps here, and we don't see a ton of them at the shows. You usually see a lot of the newer modified stuff, so happy to share these two with you today. I think I am, for whatever reason this year, I'm just super drawn to these like themed trucks. Like this one's cool too, this 1965 Ford 100. Patinaed out like crazy, the Texaco sticker on the side. But I love it when you've got the motorcycle inside too. Very cool. Obviously a much newer bike, but very cool. I like the patina on this. Again, this is a work truck. Great work truck vibe. This is a 3 on the tree. Even more simple than the other ones we've seen. So unrestored, just pretty neat truck. And again, I don't know how to explain it this year. I'm just very drawn to these very cool badass Super Duty truck. So it's a 1978 Chevy K30 dually crew cab, 8-foot bed. It has a more modern motor, so it's got a 6-liter LS from a 2004 transmission. This thing is awesome. 410 gears. Man, I like this. So it does have a 91 nose swap. So when I saw looking at this, I thought it was a newer nose on the truck, but then I saw it said 78. This is gorgeous. Color's great on the truck. The dually, again, old school. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. You're good. Go ahead. No, you're good. Thank you. But I love the style on it. It looks absolutely incredible. And like I said, I was a little thrown by the front end on the truck. I wasn't sure what it was, but I really do like these old like dualies, these old Super Duty trucks. They just look awesome. And this is a super nice version of this truck. Check out this beautiful 75 Bronco. Love this color. We've shot a bunch of these Broncos over the years. I don't know if I've seen this one in this copper color. It looks great. Love the big wheels on it. The white bumpers with the copper look really cool on the truck. The front end looks super nice. It's a 302 like most of these had, so most of these would be a small block. 302 worked great. This one's beautiful though. I really do like the paint on it. I think it looks incredible. Interior is very nice. And it's actually a manual, which again, a lot of these are automatic. So to see this in a manual is actually super nice. So super cool truck. Great day to have this truck out here. You know, you just get the little small top on there. Everything else is wide open. I'm gonna take the roof off of my truck on the way home because just perfect weather for it. But this is beautiful in this color. So again, I think this is pretty rare. I haven't seen them around, but talking to the owner, said they've made a lot of these in the Midwest. It's an 85 K20. So more of a heavy duty truck, awesome look, but it's an 8-foot bed with a step side, which is just interesting to me, right? You see the long bed with the step side, but when I was looking at it, you know, the downside to the step sides, they were a little more narrow. So it is a little more narrow, but very cool truck. And again, something I haven't seen. So 85 K20 heavy duty, 8-foot bed step side, very unique. Something I haven't seen a lot. I think it looks great, and I love the color in this. Very much of the 80s vibe. Cool truck. Very cool SN95. This is a black on black Mach 1 with a supercharger, right? This car looks great. It has the Mach 1 wheels, but we have the 10.5s in the back, which also look awesome on this car. Love the blacked out version of this. So when you see this, and hopefully you can see it better on the hood than you could on the side. So there is actually a black graphic on this, but it's a satin black graphic on black. So the black on black Mach 1s were pretty rare. They look great. I think this is some of the best looking wheels they had on the SN95s, period. Love the big wide wheels on the back. This one actually has a, looks like it has an upgraded Hurst shifter. It is a manual car, and you can see all those Mach 1 details. I'll walk around the other side. I showed you that 01 Bullet, and we talked about how they took that Bullet. And you can see here we actually have a flat black rear spoiler as well on that, which is contrast to the black on the rest of the car, the gloss black. But what you see on here is, remember we showed that Bullet, which had similar type seats and similar type gauges. So that 01 Bullet was the precursor to these 03 and 04 Mach 1s. That would give it a little bit different style. Now the benefit of these, when they went to this car, they actually did change the motor, and they actually went to like the 99 2000 Cobra motor. So it was actually a more horsepower, about 305 horse, versus the Bullets, which was much less of a performance upgrade. So very cool, and I really like this one in black on black. What a pretty 66 Mustang convertible in the blue. Most of these you see are in the red. The red's super common. This was a really common blue color throughout all of the big three manufacturers in the 60s. There was just this desire for this really light blue. This one's beautiful. What kind of brought me over to this was also the blue and white pony interior. So you can see, again, most of these would have been black in the pony interior. To see the body color matched pony interior is beautiful on this car. And then we have the really nice looking wheels, which I think are the best wheels for this generation of 66. 66 was just a slightly different than 65, little different in that C-pillar, C-cove. You had this little vent that went there. And like we talked about earlier in the day, you had the rectangular grille slots versus the more like hexagonal slots. So just very cool car, very original under the hood. You can see the 289, very bare bones, very basic. Still my favorite, the Ford Motor Company washer fluid bag, which is very cool. So this is a nice version of this car and beautiful in this color. Again, something very different, and I really do love that pony interior with the two-tone. Looks the nicest 90 Camaros I've seen. This is beautiful. Silver RS convertible with an 03 Corvette LS1 motor under the hood, so some real power, like 345 horse. That's awesome, right? So this is a pretty good motor. Wildwood brakes. Great looking IROC style wheels on the car. This is really sharp, man. This is a beautiful version of this. They've done a great job of integrating it in. It's so funny, back in the day, every car had these like tail light, tint pieces on it. You don't really see them too much anymore. So I love the throwback to 1990 on there. The interior is incredibly clean. It looks like it would have come out of the factory that way. So to see the nice Restomod under the hood, but the originality on the rest of the car is really sharp. It's a really nice guys, when we think about classic cars pre-war, like this is it. This 1934 package with the straight 8. Unbelievable. Like, just unbelievable. This was the best of the best before World War II. Like, you look at this car, it is just stunning. Every part of this car looks incredible. It's a two-door coupe, but it's 18 feet long. It's got the giant straight 8 motor, the gorgeous hood, and the really cool design on the car. Just beautiful. And again, there's you see a lot of these cars, and I think for a lot of us younger guys, we see these and they all kind of blend together. But then when you actually just step back and look at how ornate this is, how beautiful the details are on this car, the absolutely incredible interior on these. I mean, this is it for me when it comes to pre-war. And again, I don't know pre-war all that well. Again, I don't pretend like I do, but I do know that these Packards were absolutely incredible. And you can see the steps that go back into the rumble seat. And it's a great example. We compared that car we shot yesterday, which was my favorite, that 28 Buick. Similar again, but you look at here, and this is just a much more opulent car. Just absolutely. This is a very cool car. 1966 Chevelle Deluxe 300. Completely done over, right? I love the fact they left a little 230 badge on the side of it, but we've got the bigger wheels that have been body matched to the color, the red line tires, no chrome trim ring, just a center hubcap with an LS3 motor that's pushing out over 500 horsepower in a 6-speed manual. What a great looking car. I mean, this is like if it wasn't for the wheels, I would actually consider this a sleeper. Gold with the red trim on it. Again, the motor's beautiful under the hood. Everything has been done, smoothed out, so it's just very clean. You don't see a lot of wiring. There's nothing, you know, it looks very, very clean. You can tell it's been customized. The wheels are incredible. Really like the interior. Again, we've got a 6-speed manual, so a more modern console, but we've kept the factory bucket seats. You know, again, I really like these old seat belts which had the little Fisher logo. So, you know, Body by Fisher was on all these GMs forever, and that little logo's on there, which I think is so cool. It looks like pretty factory gauges. Now, it definitely looks like they've added in that tachometer. I'm not sure if they did or not. If they did a great job with it. It does look very factory and seamless. But what a pretty color, like just a beautiful version of this car. And again, much more of a sleeper version of this. But when I looked at it, I was drawn in because of those beautiful wheels. I love the motor. I love that it's a manual. Just a great looking car. I was walking by this 62 Pontiac and I had to stop. One, because the front end is so cool on the 62 Pontiacs. But this guy absolutely won me over with the Catalina wine mixer license plate. Like, awesome, right? I was thinking the same thing when I walked up. I'm like, oh, the Catalina wine mixer. And I actually see the license plate that says wine mixer. Awesome. 389 car. Love the front end on these. These just look so cool back in 62. The Pontiacs just had such gorgeous styles in the 60s. You know, they were like that excitement division for General Motors, and for good reason, man. This is just so cool. Like, love the body, but like I said, these guys absolutely had me at the license plate, because first they came to my mind, thank you to Step Brothers, was the Catalina wine mixer, and I love the license plate. Very cool 62 Pontiac. All right, guys, we're gonna do our favorite Fox body up here today. And this is a little bit of a cheat because there's a lot of really nice Foxes up here. Even like the 7-Up next to us. I've shot his car so many times. Like, you guys are probably sick of me talking about his 7-Up because it is beautiful. Like, it's got like 20,000 miles. What I love about that 7-Up is it came out of Massachusetts from a state trooper. So the fact that that car is original as it is, and being a Northeast car its whole life, is awesome. But there's an 88 notch behind me, and I really like this for a couple of reasons. With these 88s, obviously I'm very partial to an 88 having one in white. I mean, again, but what I like on this car, it's a manual car. I actually prefer the LX body style to the GT, and I know I own a GT, but I like the opening on the grille. I think it looks cleaner. I actually like the side body kit on the GTs. I actually do prefer the non-cheese grater taillights, but the reason I love this car, obviously 5-speed, 88 white, is these 10-hole wheels from LMR. 8-inch in the front, 9-inch in the back, 17s. Man, they just set this car off so nice. And I love this version of these wheels. These 10-hole are some of my favorite. Now, talking to the owner, he informed me that the 10 holes on this are bigger than the factory 10 holes, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. There is a like a 86 GT over here with some 10 holes, and I'll show you the difference on what those look like. But man, these just look so good in the car. Again, you can see really nice factory interior. This is a leather interior, 5-speed. Everything like we have in our GT, so just a really clean version of this notch. Now, guys, I could have picked this convertible. I shot this car like 3 years ago at this show because it's ridiculously nice. That 7-Up is incredible. We've got a Cobra here. Like, there's so many nice Foxes today, but that one just stood out to me and I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's super sharp. I am gonna go over though and share the that 86 in just a second, because that's the difference on the factory 10-hole wheels. So these would be 15-inch 10-hole wheels, a little smaller. I love the, you know, again, I love the style on these. This would have been, I'm guessing, an 86. Yeah, 86, so fuel injection. So last year of the 4Ride, first year of the fuel injected, 10-hole wheels, manual car, the last year of that style interior, and you could even see how the videos kind of changed, the steering wheel, so very cool. But I wanted to show you the contrast on the factory 10-hole wheels versus the new LMR, which have slightly larger openings. This is a super nice 86, very clean. Now, I'm gonna say something, my favorite car up here today, and there's been a lot of really cool stuff, and I've seen a lot of everything, is this other right here, this Chevy right here. This I want to say I think it was a 56 on this truck. 1959 Chevy Spartan with the 55 Chevy behind it, right? So, you know, we talk about like our favorites up here. This car is so cool. Like, I really like everything about the style on this, kind of the integration of the two of them together. And this car isn't flawless. Like, there's a few imperfections on the paint, but who cares? Like, I love the theming on this. This is absolutely my favorite up here tonight, just because, again, I love the design when you actually have the car with the truck. And I love these old heavy duty trucks. Like this 59's a monster. Again, you can haul anything with this, but to have this beautiful 55 Bel Air with it is incredible. So this is gonna be my favorite up here today. All right, guys, what a great show again up here today at Spindles. These guys have some of the best shows every year. This one was incredible. Because of the weather, everything worked out perfectly. This is probably their biggest turnout they ever had. Probably close to 1,000 cars. Everyone had a great time. There was so much nice stuff. Again, I apologize. I know I didn't even come close to getting everything today, but I had a great time talking to a lot of you. Thank you for the folks that watch the channel. We appreciate you so much. Next week we have 2 shows. One's a Saturday show. I believe that one's by invitation only, so I won't talk about it, a ton about it right now. The Sunday show next week, though, is at Lars Anderson, and that's going to be the retro revival show, which will be 80s and 90s cars. We're going to both of those. The following week after that, we actually have the Easton Lions Club on the 14th. So we hope to see you guys at all the shows. Thank you for checking out the channel. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do so. And I look forward to seeing everybody at the shows soon.